Could NATO be coming to Asia? From all accounts, yes. The military alliance is opening its first liaison office in Japan. The date has not been revealed, but both Japanese and NATO officials have confirmed this. What will this office do? Reports say the focus will be on cybersecurity and disinformation. It will be a hub for NATO's Pacific partners, namely Australia, Japan, South Korea and New Zealand. All four countries attended last year's NATO summit. And this is a very controversial move. NATO stands for the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Its focus is limited to the Northern Atlantic. At least it was. But Japan is new territory. It is located in the Pacific, which is outside NATO's focus area. So what explains this new office? In one word, China. Last year, NATO designated China as a security challenge. It was a first for them. 1 year later, they're opening an office in Japan. Coincidence? Well, I don't think so. NATO has been gradually pivoting to the Pacific. First came the designation of China, then came the summit where Pacific leaders attended, and now the Japan office. If the idea was to rile up China, then good job, we say. Beijing says NATO is pushing Asia towards a conflict.
NATO's continual eastward expansion in the Asia-Pacific region and its intervention in regional affairs will inevitably destroy regional peace and stability and push for bloc confrontation, which calls for high vigilance from countries in the region.
Destroy regional peace. I would say China is managing that by itself. But how should other countries view this development? Countries like India. There is no denying that NATO has a bloody past. Wherever they go, trouble has followed, like Yugoslavia or Afghanistan. There is also no ambiguity about the NATO's purpose. There is no economic or cultural angle to it. It is pure and simple military power play. So NATO turning eastward should have our attention. It could set off an arms race, or worse. Last month, America's NATO envoy talked about the alliance's Indo-Pacific plans. Here's what she said. Membership is not something that we have really considered with anyone in the Indo-Pacific or Asia-Pacific. The door is open to the region, but there are no plans to expand this to a broader global military alliance. So no membership plans, at least for the time being. But these things change fast. US allies in the region are eager to cooperate with NATO. Japan is at the forefront. Prime Minister Kishida says East Asia could be tomorrow's Ukraine. He wants to double Japan's military budget, and that could speed up the alliance's Pacific pivot. New Delhi, too, must be ready for this development. In March, NATO held talks with Indian officials behind closed doors. Reports say China was discussed. Such exchanges will be key for New Delhi. Not to think about joining NATO, because that's beyond question, but to understand what the alliance is planning to do, basically to be in the loop. US officials have talked about increasing NATO's cooperation with India. They say the door is open for New Delhi. I hope not like it was for Ukraine. You see, military power is not the answer in Asia, at least not yet. China's economic dominance remains the biggest obstacle for Asian countries. They do not particularly like China, but they cannot give up Chinese money and trade. Tackling that should be the bigger priority. As for the military challenge, there are enough regional powers who must take the lead. India is one of them. You cannot take on China by importing a transatlantic alliance. You need to strengthen existing regional groupings like Quad, like AUKUS, like ASEAN. The question is, does the West have the patience and the maturity to do this?